Marcus wheeled his mop bucket down the sterile hallway of St. Mary's Hospital, his weathered hands gripping the handle with practiced ease. The night shift suited him. Fewer people, fewer questions, fewer eyes that might recognize the ghosts he carried. He'd been cleaning these floors for 3 years now, invisible to most. Just another pair of hands keeping the world sanitized and orderly. The doctors barely noticed him. The nurses offered polite nods. To them, he was simply Marcus, the janitor, reliable and quiet, always early, never complaining. But if you're watching this story unfold, wondering what could possibly drive a man to hide his greatest gifts, stay with me, because what happens next will change everything you thought you knew about second chances. They didn't know that 15 years ago. Those same hands had performed emergency thoracotomies in desert combat zones, had sutured wounds while mortars shook the operating tent, had fought death itself under the harsh sun of Afghanistan. Dr. Marcus Chen had been one of the Army's finest trauma surgeons, decorated and respected until the day everything shattered. The IED that killed 3 of his units had left him physically intact but emotionally devastated. The young soldier he couldn't save, bleeding out on his table despite everything he knew, every skill he possessed had been his breaking point. He'd walked away from medicine, from his license, from himself. Tonight started like any other. Marcus cleaned the emergency department, emptying trash bins, mopping up the day's chaos. He was wiping down a counter when the ambulance bay doors exploded open. Paramedics rushed in with a gurney, their faces tense, voices urgent. 22-year-old male, active-duty soldier, cardiac arrest, been down for 4 minutes. Marcus's mop clattered to the floor. Time seemed to fracture. He watched the trauma team swarm. Watched the young doctor's hands fumble with the intubation. Watched the nurse's coordinated dance around the dying boy. But something was wrong. The monitor showed a rhythm he recognized too well, the same deadly pattern that had haunted his nightmares for 15 years. No pulse, someone shouted, starting compressions. And here's where Marcus faced the moment that would define the rest of his life. Would he stay invisible, or would he become the hero this soldier desperately needed? If you're feeling the weight of this decision, hit that like button because you understand what it means to stand at life's crossroads. The resident's hands shook as she prepared to open the chest. Marcus saw her hesitation, saw the fear in her eyes. She was too slow, too uncertain. The soldier was dying, and nobody in that room had seen enough combat trauma to recognize what Marcus knew instantly. The boy had cardiac tamponade, blood filling the pericardial sac, crushing his heart. Marcus's feet moved before his mind could stop them. He pushed through the trauma bay doors, still wearing his janitor's uniform. Years of self-imposed exile evaporating in an instant. "Stop," his voice rang out, command returning to it like muscle memory. "You're losing him." The attending physician spun around, irritated. "Sir, you need to leave now. Security." "He has pericardial tamponade," Marcus said, stepping closer. "You have maybe 2 minutes." "That resident isn't fast enough." "Who the hell do you think you are?" the attending demanded. "Major Marcus Chen, former Army trauma surgeon. I did this procedure 47 times in Kandahar." His eyes locked with the attending's. "And if you don't let me help right now, this soldier dies on a clean hospital floor instead of a battlefield, and you'll spend the rest of your career wondering if you let your ego kill him." The room froze. The attending looked at the monitor, at the failing rhythm, at the young soldier's gray face. 20 seconds of decision that felt like hours. "Glove him," the attending said quietly. Marcus's hand steadied as he snapped on surgical gloves. Everything else fell away. The attending stepped aside, and Marcus moved with the fluid precision of a man who had performed miracles in impossible circumstances. His fingers found their purpose again, opening the chest cavity, releasing the trapped blood, letting the heart expand, beat, live. "Sinus rhythm," the nurse called out, voice cracking with emotion. "We have a pulse, we have a pulse." The room erupted in controlled chaos as the team stabilized their patient. Marcus stepped back, hands trembling now, tears he'd held for 15 years, finally breaking through. The attending gripped his shoulder. "Thank you," she whispered. "Why are you here, cleaning floors?" Marcus watched the young soldier's chest rise and fall, the monitors singing their steady song of life. "Because I couldn't forgive myself for the one I lost," he said softly. "Maybe now I can start." 3 weeks later, Marcus walked through St. Mary's doors wearing scrubs instead of custodian blues. His medical license reinstated, his purpose restored. Sometimes we have to lose ourselves completely to remember who we were always meant to be. And sometimes redemption comes disguised as a second chance we never knew we were waiting for. If this story touched your heart, if it reminded you that it's never too late to reclaim who you truly are, then share it with someone who needs to hear it today. Drop a comment telling me about a time you found the courage to step back into your purpose, no matter how scared you felt. And subscribe, because stories like Marcus's remind us all that our greatest gifts are never truly lost. They're just waiting for the right moment to save a life, maybe even our own. Your past doesn't define your future. Your courage does.